the manner in which Paro is introduced to a client may have an impact on their acceptance and use of the Paro. Is that something you'd like to talk to?
Yeah, there's some interesting research done in Germany about literally how a care worker hands a Paro to another person. And the term they used was proffering. So the idea that you like is sort of like offering across, and there'd be two ways of holding Paro. And so one is to sort of hold it like to hold it out like that, and to sort of push it across to the other person as if you were passing a parcel. Mm-hmm. And that's one way of doing it. And
another way is just dropping it in to your lap.
Yeah. And like almost like you pass a baby from one to the other. Mm-hmm. And it was argued that this led to two different responses to Paro. The first one, where you're sort of handing it over like a parcel, led to conversations about Paro. So, yeah, as it was being passed across, it was like, here's a robot. Oh, that's very interesting. And in a sense, passed it across, and Paro becomes the object of the conversation. And that can be good for lots of things. Here's something interesting to talk about. Let's have a chat about Paro. What is it, and that sort of thing. The one where you're passing it across like a baby is very much about, well, here, take care of this Paro. So you're passing it across to the person. They're taking it. They often hold it closer to the body rather than holding it out and looking at it. And that's a very different sort of relationship. That's like you are here caring for this. You're having this caring response to this robot. So that was very interesting. I think there's lots of scope there to think about how we actually physically interact with social robots. So there's lots of different ways of interacting with a robot. And of course, what's unique about Paro amongst robots is it's soft and it's furry and it's tactile. It's what they call a haptic, H-A-P-T-I-C, haptic robot. In other words, it's all about the bodily interaction. Whereas your typical robot is a hard, metal, shiny, often white plastic thing, and you do not feel a desire to touch it or to engage with it. And I think the physical contact with robots is something that is going to be a big thing in the future, I think, as we move towards softer materials, like cloth or like fur or maybe soft plastics. I can think that's the direction that robots are going to go if they're going to become part of our lives. I think that's something that's inevitable.
I think so, Perry.